Thank you all for joining. My name is Matt Mayberry with CERVIS, and I will be hosting today's webinar covering options for customizing your standalone console. We do have a number of our team on the call to help with questions, as always. Please feel free to use the chat during our time to ask those questions, and we will do our best to address those either throughout the webinar or during the Q&A at the end. So we are going to be happy to cover some examples and specific questions that you might have in Q&A at the end of today's call here. We recognize that every organization has different goals and design ideas for their website. Today's webinar will be covering the options available to you to match your service account to your existing website. We're going to begin by looking at the new features for creating a custom header and footer, customizing the background colors, and as a reminder, we will look at some of the other customization options that have always been available in your service account. We want to be respectful of your time, so let's get started. To begin with, let's do an overview of the options that are available to customize the look of your standalone console that will allow you to match your service pages to your organization's website and branding. So when we talk about the standalone console, we are talking about when the volunteer comes out and you are linking out to your service account on a separate website, not embedded into your web page. And in our latest update, we've added the ability to customize the header that you see up here at the top of this page, the footer, like you see down here at the bottom, and this background color separate from this page color here. So those are the three kind of new pieces that have been added in. And today what we're going to be doing is looking at some of the different ways that this can be done. Now, with your current account, what we have done is you are set up as a default or the default standalone view of your account, which is what you're going to see here. It will be your organization's logo over a white background in the header with the color options that you see right here. So this is going to be the default view for your service account if you have not made any customizations to your page yet. The article that we're going to be moving through as we talk about these things is the examples of standalone console customization article. And so after the call here today, we will be including the links to these articles that we're going to be moving through, as well as the video link to today's webinar. So where we're going to be finding these customization options is going to be from the main dashboard. We're going to be going to Edit System Configuration. When we get into Edit System Configuration, we're going to be going down to the System Appearance. And what we're going to be looking at initially here are going to be these header and the footer options that exist in the system. Now, as a starting point for all of these, what you're going to have is the default. This is what you're going to be looking at right here. And you can always go back to that default if you're making some changes and you want to get back to what the default look is going to be by clicking that copy default. And then we're going to pull up the code that we're going to be looking at by looking at the source code right here. So in the first example, what we'd like to cover is just adding a background color. So where you want your logo over a color in the header and in the footer. And so in this option here, when we're looking at our examples article, the only thing that's going to be changing is this background color right here. We're going to be updating that to have a different color in the code there. And so when we look at this right here, if we were to update or make changes to this, that will be changing that background color with your logo in front of it there. Now from there, you might want to make some options where you're adding an actual image to the header and the footer. And so in this example right here, we've got an image that's included behind our logo. Same kind of thing down here at the bottom. We've got an image that's going to be displayed in the footer there. And in this example, as we're looking at the article here, as we move through this, we're going to be needing some additional pieces of information. The first thing that we need is the actual image that you want included to be hosted somewhere online with a link to that. And as a reminder, you can do that inside of your service account. So you always have the ability to upload documents to your file management right here. So if you have an image that you'd like to use in that header, you can upload that image here, and then you can grab the link for that image from the file attachment link right here. So then once we grab that, again, we can go back over, so we can copy that like you see right here, and we would move back over to the system configuration, the system appearance, and then we would make those changes to the source code. And so that right here would be this image in that example that we were just covering. So what we've looked at so far is just adding, again, just customizing a bit where we're adding in a color, we're adding in an image, but some of our organizations also have different programs and of course, maybe some multi-site or multi-campus organizations that have different, they want to have different landing pages. So when a volunteer hits your website and they're going to be looking at a different site or location, or maybe you've got different programs that people might want to get involved in, and you want to filter this view by the different interest categories in your service account. And one of the examples that we've put in our article here for you is if you have like a multi-site in this example, and you want the volunteers to be able to just click on a link and have it filtered down by that location. So in the header, what we've added up here is a link for, in my example, Colorado Springs or Monument. And when the volunteer has clicked on that, it will filter all of the events that are listed below to be those from that particular interest category. In my example, I'm using a location, but that could also be a program for you. You can also link out to those interest categories just as a reminder from your main website. So if from your main website you want to have a link out to a particular interest category, you can do that. But if you want to include it in the header, you can do that as well, following along with our article. But where we grab that link that we were looking at is from your interest category page from your admin dashboard. And it's the second link in right here. This is the link that you use, and it will create a filtered view based on the interest category that you selected it for. So in my example, if I wanted the Colorado Springs, it would be the second link in here. If I was grabbing that Monument one, it would be this one here. Let's say from your website, you wanted to link out to a particular program, in my case, like the library here, then we would grab this link up here. And you could, again, link out from your website, or if you want to customize your header to include that information, then you can customize your header as well. Again, following along with our article here that we're gonna have linked. So those are a couple of the options for customizing that header and the footer. Going back over to the system configuration here, we're going to be going back into the system appearance. And again, to begin with, you're always going to be starting by doing the copy default for this. And so you do that copy default, and you'll be able to customize that from that point. And I'd recommend either following along with those articles, or if you have web design folks that are on team there, they'll know how to be able to engage with that. As we scroll down, the console background color is going to be this option right here. Now, for the console background color, one of the unique things that you can do with this is if you want this to have more of a flat appearance, when a volunteer clicks out to your page, you do have the option where you can match the page color, so this color right here, and your background color. And if you do that, it will take this frame away like you see right there. So in this example, we've matched those and it has removed that frame. So when the volunteer clicks out to that, they won't have, it'll look like what you see here on the right. But then of course on the left, you do have the option for customizing it however you might want as well. So you could have different colors there. And when we're looking at those customization options, all of those options for the rest of your account are going to be available here as well. So you have the ability to match this. Again, we want you to be able to customize this, the look and feel of this, to match your existing website. So when people are mousing over links, when people are navigating throughout your service page, we want that to be able to have that same look and feel as your own website does. And so you can customize all of these color options here. For forms, you've got a number of different options where there are some with shadows, some without, some with rounded or square corners. And then of course, matching up your font with your website, we have a number of different font options that are available here. And if you have additional questions about fonts, you can always reach out to our support team to get any questions answered related to that. So if you have specific questions about customizing your account, your console to look and feel a certain way, please feel free to reach out to our customer support team. They'll be happy to help. At the bottom of any page, you've got that option for clicking on the need help to open up a ticket, or you can always reach out to them by emailing them at support@servicetech.com. We're excited about some of these new changes that have been made to the system. As mentioned, we will be sending out a video of today's call, and I'm going to be staying on here to answer any questions, any specific questions that you might have as well. But in our email, we will be sending out links to both of the articles that we've been referencing here today, as well as a video of today's recording. So the question was asked about uploading an image for customizing that background image. And so that's again going to be done. So from your administrative dashboard right here, you can upload that image to the file management. So under the system management, bottom right side, click on file management, and you can upload that image here. And then once that's uploaded, you'll be able to grab the link to that image right here. So you can click on that link and you'll be able to copy that link and then move it over to add it to your header if you'd like to. So the link and the document can all be stored inside your service account to be able to then go and customize that header. Great question. All right, we're gonna stay on here in case there are any other additional specific questions that you might have. Our team has been taking care of some of the other questions that have been coming through. And it looks like we don't have any others right now. Today's webinar was short and sweet. We realized that when we were scheduling it, but if you do have some specific questions that come up later, you can always feel free to reach out to our support team, but we will also stay on the call here for the next 5 or 10 minutes here, so just to make sure that any lagging questions do get addressed. So thank you all for your time. Hope that you are having a good Friday here, and thanks for taking some time to connect up with us. As we're waiting for any other questions that might be coming in, just as a reminder, anytime you make any changes to the system appearance here, do remember to update your configuration to save those changes to your account. So question came in about updating the source code. So once you copy that default here, you do have the ability to update that source code right here. When you click on that, it pops up with all of that source code up here at the top. And so this is how you can update that. You do not have to make changes to this for your account. We do have a default setting that is set on your account, but if you are interested in customizing, like we've mentioned, things like a background color, that's a very simple one. If you don't have a web development or web design history, you can just kind of make some changes here to this background color option. And then all of the other examples that we have in our examples here, we do include the source code like you see here. And again, the changes that we have made are in red as you're looking at this. You would not want to just copy this into your account without making changes to things like these links, like you see right here. It would not work for your account. So you would have to make some changes to this to match your account. But you would start with copying the default code in the system, and then if you wanted to add like a background image, then you'd be able to use this, like you see right here. There's some code that we've added in here that you would be able to add to yours. Oh, great. The question was asked about removing the box. And so that's going to be the same console background color like you see right here, where we have, and I'll open up this image here just to kind of blow it up. So where the page color and the console background color are matched. And so where you make that change is going to be down here at the bottom. That's the console background color and the page background color. So if you match these two, and you can see what the options are here, this one's a white, this one's a little bit of an off-white. If you were to match those two and update your configuration, that will make that box go away for your console. Okay, great question. All right, it looks like we've addressed all of our questions from our team that's been on the call here as well. Thank you all again for your time. It's our pleasure to be able to host these and have you all as customers. If you do have any additional questions that come up, please do not hesitate to reach out to our support team again using the Need Help button from your admin console or from emailing us support@servicetech.com. Thank you all very much and have a great day and a good weekend.